Okay, so at this point I am getting ready for our recipe, which is pasta with oil and garlic. And I chose this one because, again, super duper simple, and it has ingredients that you can probably have in your house. And I'm going to talk to you about pasta water and why pasta water is so important in your recipe. So what I already did, and I'm going to turn on the light so you can see even better, is I have some olive oil. And what I did is I sliced some garlic, and I took some peppers because I like hot peppers, and I put them in the oil and then turned everything on, and I'm going to let this cook for a few minutes on medium heat. It's sort of just slightly simmering. We want to make sure that the garlic doesn't burn because burnt garlic smells and tastes horrible. In the meantime, I have some water that I have brought to a boil, and I'm going to add salt to my water. I like to add the salt after the water boils because it's faster and it dissolves. So I'm going to take a good, I don't know, teaspoon of salt and add it to my water. The nice thing about fresh pasta is that it cooks super duper quickly. You could do this recipe with boxed pasta, but since we're using fresh pasta, it's probably going to take a minute or two to cook. That's why I started this well before I did this. And I want to be careful when I add my pasta. Kind of separate it with your fingers as you go along so it doesn't clump together. This is the amount for probably 2 people. The full recipe that we did in class would easily feed 4 people. There we go. And then I'm going to let this cook. Again, takes just a few minutes to cook, and this in the meanwhile is almost ready to go. I'm going to quickly wash my hands because I had some flour on there and I don't want flour on there. Okay. If you want parsley or cheese, you can. And this is basically almost ready. So whether you have tongs or whatever you want to use to get your pasta out of the water, I have this very cool pasta scooper doohickey thing. So I'm going to use that, and I want to bring it back to a boil, and it's almost boiled on high heat, and this is almost ready to go. So really, in 4 or 5 minutes, we have pasta done and set and good to go. I'm not adding salt to this because I know that I've got salt in this water, and I'm actually going to use some of that water. If you don't have one of these, then maybe a pair of tongs to put it in the pot, because we don't want to lose, we want to actually use the salty, starchy water that's in pasta. A lot of chefs will use it to help emulsify sauces and thicken sauces. So this is basically almost done. There we go. Okay. If you're using boxed pasta, then what you want to do is cook it till it's about a minute from your pasta being done. So for example, spaghetti takes 10 minutes. Cook it about 9 minutes. And I'm going to add it to this. And just stir as you go. There we go. It's going to sizzle because you've got water to hot oil. Now this water that we cooked our pasta in is great water. It's full of starch and it's full of flavor. So what I'm going to do is add about a ladleful in here. And then using either tongs or a spoon, I'm just going to stir this around. And what's going to happen is the faster you stir, the more it's going to emulsify, and that's when oil and water get together, even though they don't want to get together. And you've basically created a sauce. So I don't know if you can see too well from here, but I actually am starting to have a creamy sauce that's formed from this starchy pasta water. So if you've ever got anything really that you want to make a sauce in, add a little bit of your starchy leftover pasta water, stir it up, and you have an amazing dish. So there is my creamy sauce that I've created just from my leftover starchy water. To to this, I'm going to taste it, season it with salt and pepper if we need to. I like lemon juice, and I have half a lemon left over, so from another project that I was doing, so I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice. We don't want to use, waste our food. And here is your pasta with oil. You could add some parsley, add some cheese. Life is good. There we go. So you've now learned how to make fresh pasta, roll out your pasta, cut your pasta, and then if you want to cook it in a really simple dish, or if you want to make lasagna, if you want to make something completely fancy, you've got all these options with pasta. So flour, eggs will do you an amazing amount of good. Happy cooking, everybody.